Hey guys, this is Rowan with Sandstone Care, and I have Marc Azoulay here with me. Wanna say hi, Marc?
Yeah, hey, I'm Marc Azoulay. I'm a therapist out in the Boulder community in private practice.
And so Marc, I'm really excited to have you here, and as you know, this is something pretty new for us doing these podcasts, just trying to expose the community to some of the people that we like to work with, and just some of the different modalities and kinds of therapists and community providers that are out there. So along those veins, like, what is it in private practice that you really like to take on?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool program. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see it's really beneficial for the community. I work with masculine aggression.
Okay.
It's kind of my number one thing. And I see it kind of manifest in two different ways.
Okay.
So you have what people typically think about when thinking about the aggressive male, kind of like, the big angry guy,
Right.
maybe the domestic violence history.
Right.
Maybe he has a child abuse history, and his aggression is just like all over the place.
Right.
Right. What's interesting about this guy is that the legal system usually catches him at some point, right? And that's usually how they get introduced to treatment. So I work through that lens.
Okay.
But what I've been interested in more is this other form of masculine aggression, which is like the too nice guy.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've ever experienced somebody like this.
Probably me.
It's the guy. It's very common in Boulder.
Okay.
It's the guy he's very nice, very accommodating. Always
Right.
saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
Always pleasing everyone around him. This guy usually is actually very successful in his life. He's
Okay.
like climbing up the corporate ladder. He's
Right.
making moves in his life.
Okay.
But underneath that is this deep, deep, deep aggression and
Okay.
this pure rage
Okay.
that is it's right near the surface. And
But it
this
doesn't
guy-
feel appropriate for them to kind of vent that because
Right.
of their image.
Right, they usually don't know how to vent it.
Yeah.
They usually had some childhood experiences where their aggression wasn't held or accepted in a way.
Okay.
And then you see it come out in what I see is actually more dangerous ways. It usually comes out in their intimate relationships. Usually comes out in their family.
Right.
Usually comes out. They have trouble having people get close to them because they're just kind of a prickly kind of person.
Okay.
And they're kind of always keeping everyone at a distance. They're kind of always stiff arming
Yeah.
the
yeah.
world.
Okay.
And when I talk to these guys, a lot of them are afraid of that aggression. They
Right.
use metaphors like, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or the
Right.
Incredible Hulk, right? They
Yeah,
know it's
yeah.
in there, and they just don't really know how to work with it.
Okay. And so how do you work with it? It's obviously different case by case, but in general.
Yeah, so what I see is I actually help them get in touch with their aggression and direct it towards the appropriate source.
Okay.
What happens with a lot of these guys is because they've never learned how to be with their anger,
Mhm.
and in my opinion actually be with the masculine part of their anger,
Okay.
they push it inwards, and the aggression goes inwards.
Right.
So a lot of them carry a lot of shame. A lot of them are doing self-harm behaviors like,
Yeah.
substance use or overeating
Mhm.
or aggressive exercise.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of them are just like pumping that inwards.
Right.
So the idea is, I work with psychoanalysis. So the idea is to help them to free associate and to kind of say whatever comes to their mind without
Okay.
censoring.
Okay.
And that allows the aggression to come up and regresses them back to a time, usually in their childhood, where the aggression should be vented at maybe a parent or at a bully,
Right.
or at a family member or someone that has betrayed them or hurt them.
Right.
It's often these kids have these experiences where things happen to them because I do believe that in a lot of ways kids are victims, right? They're
Mhm.
very helpless in a lot
Yeah,
of ways.
yeah.
So they get victimized, and if that trauma is not addressed, that aggression is just buried. It's just buried deep down
Right.
in them and ends up kind of lightning bolting out at different things.
Yeah. And I'm curious just because a lot of the people that we are in touch with are parents of younger
Mhm.
clients. So kind of 13 to 30-year-old, a lot of the people haven't had those experiences of climbing the corporate ladder yet, like you were talking about for some of your clients. So how do you deal with some of the teens or young adults who are kind of more in that struggling to acclimatize stage of life?
Yeah, totally. So for a lot of those teens, I tend to either work on programs like yours or wilderness therapy programs
Mhm.
where they can actually get out and do, kind of sequence it through their body.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of these men, they really cut their bodies off. And
Yeah.
they kind of either do it by the typical thing of, eating, drinking, smoking, playing a lot of video games, just kind of becoming like a couch potato,
Yeah.
or by the aggressive exercise where they just kind of treat their body like a machine.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes those guys are really good shape, but they're not really connected to their feelings.
Right. Right.
So I found using some outside the box techniques in order for them to get into that sense of aggression, that real like body sense of anger.
Yeah.
And then when I work with them in the room, the idea is actually getting them to feel into those old emotions, the old angers, the old hurts, the old sadness, and having them have what's called a cathartic experience, which means they're having an emotional release in the room. They're crying, they're screaming, they're wanting to like freak out. Kind of dislodging that.
But that's a safe space to do that, where they're not going to hurt anyone else.
Exactly. Yeah, they can yell at me all they want.
Yeah,
I can handle that, but it helps that they don't yell at their parents and things like that.
Right. And so, what does that look like? I feel like often we go so quickly when that aggression is inappropriate, but it seems like there is a healthy way to express aggression, because we all feel rage at times. What does that look like?
Yeah, so the number one thing that I help parents and other providers do is help them be curious about their client's aggression.
Okay.
When someone gets really angry at you and it comes out really clumsily, right? Usually with like a lot of curse words, or maybe with some like they punch a wall or something.
Yeah.
Right. Our natural reaction is to recoil.
Yeah.
Right. Or to try to shut it down.
Yeah.
Be like, don't do that. Right.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that aggression. Right. So something that can be very healing is just to be like, hey, what are you trying to say? Like, I get you're trying to tell me something. What's the message there?
Yeah.
And I try and join their tone of voice too. So if they get escalated, I'm also getting escalated. Right? If they're getting, very cold and like, sinister would be kind of my word for it. I also get that.
Yeah.
So I'm meeting them in that emotional space, and I'm actually trying to clarify the message they're trying to send me.
Right.
Because a lot of these young guys, like, they know they're feeling something, but they just like can't get it out.
Well, they probably haven't been taught how to express that in an appropriate way.
Right. They've just been tampered down over and over and over again. Yeah. Because the parent or the teacher or whoever it is actually afraid of that aggression.
And probably afraid of their own aggression too. Yeah.
Right, they're afraid they might escalate and they might do something.
Right.
So the idea is just to kind of keep bringing it out in a way that it can slowly over time refine their communication.
Right.
Because I see, this is a whole nother topic, but I see a lot of men in our culture really struggle with conflict, and it seems to be a kind of a new problem. Where men are stereotyped as like conflict, aggressive people.
Right.
But there's a lot of things happening politically where we're really tamping down our own aggression and our own nature, our own conflictual nature. And it doesn't mean it goes away, it just means it comes out sideways.
Right.
Which I think is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So if you work with these kids early, they learn how to tolerate and engage in conflict in a meaningful way. And learn how to assert themselves when they get older in the world. In a way that is not as harmful as if it was just coming out as pure anger or rage.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's really valuable. Hey, thank you so much. If someone is struggling with their own aggression or has someone they know, how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, totally. They can email me at my email address, which is marc, M-A-R-C, at marc-azoulay.com. So marc at marc-azoulay.com. And my website is marc-azoulay.com, which all the information is on there.